Happy Monday. Checking in for another walk and talk update. I am moving to Spain in 27 days, maybe 28 days, something like that. But my move to Spain, and I'm using the term move lightly, this is my next digital nomad stint. The visa requirements are different than they were when I was in Bali. So kind of navigating that whole situation, but I thought I would check in and just share kind of what I'm going through right now, because the feelings of overwhelm are starting to sink in. And it's really interesting because last year, funny enough, 2 weeks after, so last year I left on March 31st. This year I'm leaving on March 15th. I left and packed up my life, sold everything. I moved over to Bali, and I was in Bali for 5 months, and then Egypt for a month. And then I came back to the States for a little while, and then now I'm heading back over to Europe, probably until the end of the year. But after, there's a lot of emotions and fear and stuff that comes up when you are kind of living a life like this. And I processed a lot of that when I went to Bali, but it's interesting. I'm now starting to feel that start to bubble up again. And last year was a big transition. I literally quit my job, my entire corporate career that I had been building for 20 years. This year, I have a business. I am in the middle of a transition right now, but so I guess it's a little less scary. But when you're moving somewhere where you don't know the culture, the way of living, where stuff is, how to get around, how to even communicate. I know a little bit of Spanish. I'm actually signed up for Spanish lessons, but yeah, it comes with a lot of unknowns. This life is literally living in the unknown every single day. And the most beautiful part about that is you feel so alive. Like, yes, there's stuff that comes up that's frustrating and scary, and you have anxiety and worry, but you feel alive. You're not doing the same shit every day. And I think that's what draws me to this kind of lifestyle. But so yeah, I leave in a little over 3 weeks. So I'm getting prepped for that. Just in my life, but not only that, like in my business. Because what people don't realize is they see digital nomad as being kind of like a trend and something to strive to, and that it's this like glamorous life, in a lot of ways it is, but it's not like you're going to these places and on vacation, like you live there. And you have to have your own like routines and keep up with like your fitness routines and your health routines and your working routines. And I really found when I first got to Bali last year, that was a challenge, like to get like readjusted of like, okay, what do my routines look like when I'm here? So I'm actually figuring that out a little bit on the front end this time. Like, what gym am I gonna go to? What are my working hours going to be? Because obviously part of this experience is to be able to enjoy and immerse yourself in this new place that you're in, but you have to have structure. At least from my experience is I need structure of this is when I'm working, this is when I take client calls, this is when I'm filming YouTube content, etc. Because you can easily get distracted and just go sightsee and go lay on the beach in Barcelona, or in my case last year, Bali, and trying all the new restaurants and all the new coffee shops, and all of that is great, but figuring out like where can I work from a coffee shop. Bali, they let you work pretty much everywhere. Some places have restrictions. Spain is not that way. So I'm doing a lot of research and kind of figuring out what my routine is going to be like on the front end, so I don't land in Barcelona and say, okay, now what? So I'm kind of figuring that out for myself already. And then the other things to consider are like your visa requirements. There's actually a digital nomad visa for Spain that I was going to do, but I'm actually going to wait. I'm going to spend 3 months in Spain, and then I'm going to bop out and probably go to London or Ireland, maybe some other options, I'm not sure, for a couple months, and decide if I really want to stay in Spain longer term, because the taxes are crazy. Bali wasn't this challenging. Like, you could stay like 6 months. You had to leave every couple months, but it was a lot more easy to navigate. So I'm having to like figure out, okay, where am I going to be? Like, what apartment do I need to get? And because Spain is a hot spot right now, availability is kind of limited. So navigating some of that I got my apartment like a month ago. So, but kind of now trying to like map out where I'm going to be the next 6 months, roughly. But it's also hard because you want to leave yourself some flexibility. Like, you meet people along the way, like maybe your plans want to change. So there's a lot more to consider when you're going over to Europe. So if you are embarking on a digital nomad path, there's a lot of things to consider financially before you do that. And it's, you know, if you're going somewhere like Spain, what are the tax implications, the visa requirements, how much is the cost of living, like not only your rent, but like how much are groceries going to cost you, how much is my gym going to cost me, and understanding like, okay, what is it going to cost me to actually live here and sustain the life that I want. And then as a business owner, I think it's also important to get clear on what your priority is. Is your priority making the most amount of money possible? Is it to have a certain number of offers? Is it to support a certain number of people? Is it to build a community? You should be doing this whether you're a digital nomad or not, but like figuring out what your priorities are, but especially as you are a nomad, because you want to build your business in a way that meets what you want out of life. Meaning, like right now for me, I want to have time freedom to go explore and immerse myself in Spain. So I'm not going to pack my week full of calls that are going to tie me to an office or tie me to my apartment. I'm going to build offers and structure them, price them in a way that what I'm making from those offers will sustain my life, not only financially, but also give me time. And then it's also important to understand where you're going and do your research before you go, just about the culture, some of their customs, the language, because what I've seen just from, you know, when I went to Bali and I went to Malaysia and South Korea, and, you know, I was kind of over in Asia, and there's a big digital nomad community over there, but how do I say this? I witnessed a lot of people walking in places and acting like they own the place. And it is a privilege to be able to go and live somewhere that maybe is way cheaper than your home country, and be able to live a luxurious life, you know, when the locals are not, you know. And I've just seen so many people be so rude to locals there, or not even trying to get to know them or understand their culture. It's like, yeah, just kind of like acting like they own the place. And so I think it's really important to understand that this is a privilege. Treat the space kindly, like it's your own home, and treat the people there kindly and like they are your local people. And I guess the last thing I'll just share is just kind of some of the mindset stuff I've been doing probably the last couple of months, honestly, just to prepare myself for this trip. Is I've been doing a lot of visualization of sitting in meditation and just visualizing what my ideal life in Spain will look like. And look, I have no clue, you know, but when we visualize and we get in tune with what that dream life would feel like, and not just, okay, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. It's how do I want to feel when I'm there? What experiences do I want to have? Like, who do I want to meet? What conversations do I want to have? What do I want to try? What foods? You know, like really bringing in the senses. What do I want to experience when I'm there? And not only does this help us manifest and create that experience, but when it happens and when we get there, it's our body already knows that, like, oh, I've done this before, because I've been rehearsing in my mind for months now. Like, I already know what feeling this is going to feel like. And even like bringing up like the butterflies, like the feelings of loneliness. There's a lot of loneliness in this life, in this nomad life. And rehearsing that before I get there. What do I want to create? How do I want to feel? Who do I want to meet? What do I want to experience? What do I want my business to look like? What do I want my personal, my social life to look like? And bringing all of that in before I get there. And that helps us create that experience. So yeah, that's what I'm navigating this week. Shit is getting real. I'm getting really excited. And yeah, getting ready to embark on a whole nother new chapter. This whole like nomad life is just so, it's like self-development, like on crack, I feel like. Just so is having a business, honestly, but having this nomad life, like I said, there's a lot of loneliness, a lot of stuff bubbles up to the surface, like, can I actually do this? Who am I to be doing this, you know? Sitting at restaurants, eating alone, going out to social events, putting yourself in places that you're going to meet people. And you just literally become a whole new version of yourself. That's another thing I've been thinking about is like, who do I want to be there? Like, what version of myself am I going to be? Confident, feminine, magnetic, a leader, friend, you know, like getting clear on who is Sue Ellen over in Spain. It's really exciting and just, yeah, like so privileged to be able to do this. And so blessed and grateful that I get to have this experience. Yeah, this week I'm actually going to create a video because this has just been on my mind and on my heart lately of just how I quit my 9-to-5, what I did to prep for it, because it wasn't just like here's my 2 weeks and let's figure it out. And there was a lot of preparation and how I moved to Bali, the action steps I took, all of that. So that'll drop Friday. And yeah. All right, I'm finishing up my walk. I hope everyone has a great day, great week. Chat with you later. Bye.